Good morning, year 2. Well, in maths this week, we are thinking about addition and all the different methods we have learned to add two numbers together. So, if you remember, we usually focus on 3 different ways to add in year 2. The first is by using physical objects to represent what we are adding. The second is to represent what we are adding pictorially. And the third is to use some other math strategies. And today we're going to focus on using a number line to add numbers together. In today's maths activity, we are playing a game that looks at buckets and beanbags. And I had a really good look around my house and I couldn't actually find any physical buckets or physical beanbags. So I'm going to show you how to solve these problems, both drawing to represent buckets and beanbags, but using physical items to represent buckets and beanbags, and using a number line to represent the adding of the buckets and beanbags that we do. If I was in the classroom, I'd probably have actual buckets and beanbags for you to use. So if you do, and you'd like to play a bit of a game and try and throw your beanbags and get them into the buckets, that could be a fun thing to do. So please feel free to do that. But if you watch the rest of the video, I'm going to show you the different methods we can use to play this game and to add up the numbers that we need to add together. So you'll see here, I've drawn 4 circles to represent my 4 buckets, and I've given each bucket a number, which is the value I'm going to get if I successfully get my beanbag into it. I've thrown 3 beanbags, and I've managed to get them into the bucket with a number 2, the bucket with number 3, and the bucket with number 4. So I received those points for each beanbag I've successfully gotten into my bucket. And I'm first going to show you how I draw this. So I'm drawing my 2, I'm drawing my 3, move this out of the way, and I'm drawing my 4. All right. Oh, they've gone off the camera, but I'm going to move my thing now so you'll be able to see it. So I've drawn these in the shape of a tens frame, which is a really good strategy to use because it helps me visually straight away see that there's one missing to bring me up to 9. But either way, I'm going to count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I've drawn 9 counters. The answer to adding up my total score is 9, and I've done that pictorially. Next, I'm going to do it physically, and I'm going to line up counters to physically represent the score I've gotten by getting my beanbags into the bucket. You can see I've done a 2, a 3, and a 4. And again, I've lined them up in the shape of a tens frame, which is really smart because I can at a glance count my counters together and know that it's a number 9. And finally, I'm going to do it using a number line. And I'm going to start with the biggest number, my biggest score, which is number 4. And then I'm going to count on. So I'm going to count on number 3. First, I'm going to add 3. So I'm do a big hop and write a +3. And then I'm going to hop one by one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I'm going to add my next score, which was a 2. I'm going to do a big hop and write a +2. And then I'm going to add in my little hops, 8 and 9. Okay, so now I've answered my question in 3 different methods, using 3 different methods. So remember, Class 2H, we are spending the time this week really focusing on our workings and showing our ways of working out the problem. You have a choice of strategy to use, but you must show how you figured out your answer, whether that's using physical items, whether it's using pictures, or whether it's using number lines. I want to see and understand your thinking, which is the important part. I definitely don't want to see any column addition. That's something that comes into maths at the end of year 3. And before then, we want to make sure we have all of our other strategies secure. Make sure you know how to manipulate physical items or represent numbers with pictures or use number lines. And if you do that, you will find maths so much easier as you grow and as the numbers get big. I am far more interested in seeing your mistakes in these methods than in what you get right, because that's how we learn together. And Mrs. Higgins, I make lots of mistakes. Just ask my children. I'm sure they'd happily tell you how many times a day I make mistakes. So mistakes are great. I'm very, very happy to see them because they let me understand what you know and how comfortable you are with the different methods that we are learning. So today's maths problems are set out 3 different ways as usual. And today they are different based on how you are going to show your workings. They all have slightly different numbers in the buckets, and they all want you to do it with a different strategy. So you could choose to do it using physical items. You could choose to do it showing your workings pictorially, or you can choose to do it showing your workings by using a number line. There is one question that comes up in all the challenges, and that is how many other scores could I get using these 3 beanbags? So instead of throwing them into one bucket each, maybe I could choose to look at it slightly differently. For example, instead, if I took out my counters from the buckets that had a 2 and a 4 on it, and I threw them all into the one bucket with the number 3 on it, would my answer be any different? Let's have a look. I'm going to show you the 3 different methods to represent this. So first, I'm going to draw it. I'm going to draw it pictorially. So for each beanbag, I need 3 counters. I get 3 points for each beanbag. So I'm going to draw them out. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. Oh, look at that again. I've done it in a tens frame, which is a really good way to do it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's the same answer. That's a surprise. Now I'm going to do it physically. 1, 2, 3. Again, I get 3 counters for each beanbag that I got into the bucket with a 3 on it. And again, I've lined them up in a tens frame. So that helps me to glance and see straight away that there's only one missing from 10. So I know it's a 9. Oh, look, did you see Miss Higgins' mistake? I didn't leave myself enough space to be able to draw a number line. So I'm going to have to move it over. All right. And finally, I'm going to do it representing a number line. So I start with 3 and I add on a big hop for 3, 4, 5, 6. And then I have another 3 to add on with a hop, 7, 8, 9. So there I have, I've done it again. I've represented my answers in 3 different ways. All right, Class 2H, enjoy your beanbag and bucket challenge today. And I'm looking forward to seeing all your workings on Seesaw.